Welcome to another daily roundup of Russian Telegram chatter. Your like and subscribe to my channel would really be appreciated. Subscription is free and it only takes a moment of your time. I monitor and translate Russian Telegram chat channels as a general mood check so you don't have to. Remember, please do your own research and be wary of propaganda and disinformation, which occurs frequently in Russian chat, especially when there is bad news for Russians concerning the country's illegal and genocidal war in Ukraine. The images used in the video are for illustration purposes only. They do not necessarily represent the issues or translations. And finally, please note, the chat is unverified and I do not endorse the views expressed. Right, let's get on with it. On Telegram today, Internet in Moscow is dead. MTS, Megafon, Tele2, MGTS, Rostelecom, Dom.ru and other providers have a major outage. Users from Moscow and the Moscow region do not have access to either home or mobile internet. The authorities wanted to militarize the budget even more. The Russian Ministry of Finance has prepared about 900 amendments for the second reading of the draft federal budget for 2025 to 2027, which propose redistributing the total complexity of about 7 trillion rubles, said Russian Finance Minister Anton Siluanov. According to him, a significant part of the amendments is aimed at ensuring the country's defense and security. Another part of the funds will go to modernizing border checkpoints and developing new regions. According to the draft budget adopted in the first reading, spending on the army and security forces in 2025 was to amount to almost 41% of the budget, 16.7 trillion rubles. Now it is proposed to increase this figure. Some bright spark embarrassed Putin by publishing his statement from 2005. Putin said, but clearly doesn't remember it, changing the constitution leads to the collapse of the state. If every new head of state changes the constitution to suit himself, then soon there will be nothing left of this state, Putin warned. In Komi and Bashkortostan, there were interruptions in the distribution of drugs to combat HIV, which is running at a quarter of the local population, possibly higher. We are receiving reports from various cities in Bashkortostan about incomplete distribution and refusal to distribute antiretroviral drugs, as well as changes in HIV treatment regimens without medical indications. The interruptions mostly affected the drugs atazanavir, elsulfavarine, lamivudine, abacavir, tenofovir and etravirine, the report says. Giving Russian well-deserved treatment in Turkey. Russian tourists have complained about an outbreak of an unknown virus in Belek, Turkey. Over the past few days, several dozen children and adults from nearby hotels have gone to a local hospital with a temperature above 39 degrees, which was almost impossible to bring down with pills and suspensions. They had to put IVs. Experts suggest that it could be Coxsackie, or a new strain of coronavirus, or rotavirus. Some tourists get sick after returning to Russia, while others are overtaken by the virus right on the plane. Russian companies have faced a sharp increase in non-payments from counterparties. Almost 40% of companies report this problem. This could be a sign of an upcoming wave of bankruptcies, Vedomosti writes. Due to the unavailability of working capital loans, companies simply have nothing to pay with. The UAE has begun supplying butter to Russia amid a crisis in domestic production. Since October 18th, 90 tons of this product have already been imported into the country, and it will soon appear on store shelves. Turkey, India, and Iran have also begun supplying butter to Russia. Meanwhile, in non-chain Russian stores, the cost of a 400-gram package of butter has reached 835 rubles. The head of the Russian Orthodox Church promised Russians eternal life in case of death in the northeast military district and called for prayers for Putin. Russians participating in the SVO are guaranteed eternal life in case of death on the battlefield. The Patriarch of Moscow and all Rus's Kirill wrote about this in his new book, For Holy Rus, Patriotism and Faith. This is eternal life, and you are going to a feat, giving your physical life. But remember, you will not perish, you will not die, you will live, he noted. Patriarch Kirill also called for prayers for Putin and the soldiers fighting in Ukraine. At the same time, he called Russia a peace-loving country, emphasizing that the Russian people do not seek to start wars with other countries. The economy is pickled. Not just butter, a whole range of goods have risen in price by tens of % over the past year. This week in Russia has been actively discussing a new food crisis associated with rising prices for butter. However, butter is not the only product that has risen in price by tens of % in a year. According to the data from the Prices Today project, among the products that have risen in price the most in supermarkets were potatoes, up 48.8%, cabbage, up 45.8%, lamb, up 45.5%, cucumbers, up 30.5%, eggs, up 28.9%, and butter, up 27.7%. According to some, Rosstat recorded an order of magnitude smaller increase in the prices of these products. This discrepancy is most likely explained by the fact that Rosstat may take into account small wholesale in the markets, where the purchase price is lower than the store price, and also because Rosstat uses prices for goods in the lower price category, explained the analyst of the project Prices Today. That's all for today, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Please remember, the chat is unverified. I monitor and translate Vatnik channels as a general mood check, so you don't have to. The chat is unverified. I do not endorse the views expressed. Be wary of disinformation and DYOR. Please consider supporting my work on Patreon or buy me a coffee. If you are able to support me with a coffee or subscription on Patreon, I do provide links in the description of the video. I really appreciate all of the support I can get towards my research, equipment, and publication costs. Thank you. Please remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. I also leave comments open for feedback, which I really appreciate. You can view my original posts in much more detail on Twitter. Follow me at beefeater_fella. My research threads also include full references and sources to speed up your own research. I also provide daily updates and deep dive research videos on a range of interesting subjects, including economics, geopolitics, sanctions and sanction circumventions, fossil fuel updates, and much more. The YouTube edition of my Russian Telegram chat translations is released every night at midnight, UK time. Have a great day. I look forward to your next visit. Welcome to another daily roundup